Good evening, viewers. Welcome again to our Health Matters segment here on Siloam TV, where we are touching heaven to change earth through prayer. We are very glad to be here. Today we have a very interesting topic. Today we are talking about blood, damu, blood. Today we want to hear much more about blood and how it is important to our lives, and how we should take care of ourselves to maintain blood, and how we should also save lives by giving blood. With us today is a very interesting guest. She's in charge of blood donation in Mary. I'll welcome her to greet you and to tell us who she is. Karibu Lilian.
Thank you very much. I'm Lilian Karimi. I coordinate blood transfusion services in the county, that is Meru County. I'm glad to be here and with our viewers. We hope to learn a lot, to hear from you, and also to be contributors of this noble task of giving blood to the needy. Thank you.
It's very interesting, Lilian, to note that we talk about blood everywhere. Ukikatwa damu, ukikuwa na kidonda damu, but we don't understand this component called blood. I would like you to explain to us what is blood and what is its role in our bodies.
Just like we would like to talk about fuel in the vehicle, really blood is like fuel in our bodies. This is because you will find that it has a main role that it plays within our body mechanisms. It means that with blood, your oxygen is carried throughout the cells and your other body organisms. We also look at, organs, and then we also look at it as also a means of transport of the nutrients within our organs and the whole body. Vital, again, is that when you look at it, when the body is trying to fight infection, still the blood is very key, because it carries cells that really will help the body fight infections within us. So it's a component that cannot lack, and we cannot just overlook about it. It's the fuel, and it's everything about us. Thank you.
Now, is it that, are we born with just enough blood? Do we maintain enough blood in our bodies, or really what happens?
You've severally heard people ask, how much blood do I have? And how much blood is enough? This is because there are expected levels of blood that we need to have. And that is why you'll see patients are tested for hemoglobin levels. That means we want to know the amount of blood that you have, because we have the low range and the high range. So it should be maintained within a level that is between 12.5 to 17 at an average. And what we say is that if you have less, you get to be anemic. And if you have more, it means you still are a patient. So we need to have it maintained within a limit. Yes.
How do we achieve the limit to maintain it between 13 and 16? How are we able to achieve that?
Yeah, thank you very much once again. What we have always said is that we need to eat a balanced diet. This means that there is what the body needs for the cells to be replenished and to keep to that level. So it means if, for instance, you're lacking, or you are sick, or you are anemic, that means the body, you could be having iron deficiency anemia. That means there's what you're lacking within the body. Maybe you are expectant, a mother, and you should be having enough blood at that point. So if at that point you're already limited to that, and your body as a mother who is expectant, you are actually even supposed to be visiting the hospital for A&C clinic, so that you're taking up your HBs just to monitor your levels, and just in case they are going down, you're supposed to be given some supplements so that it can be boosted by the time you're getting to giving birth. You have the right levels. And in case you're also having excess bleeding, it means your HB can go low. So this is why we need to maintain and also keep checking on our HBs. That is the hemoglobin level. Thank you.
Oh, so you want to tell me that, let's say, especially for our bodies, like expectant mothers, the blood can have changes, just because you're carrying a baby, or so you need to enhance it, or to keep it at a certain level to be able maybe to grow the baby, or to keep the baby healthy and the mother healthy.
That is very true, and that is why we actually insist that when you get to learn that you are expectant, it's very good that you get to the clinic very early, because we have the investigations that are normally taken for these pregnant mothers, and one of them is the HB, besides other tests that we have. But this is very key, because like we have learned, there is so much that the body will do to both the mother and to the baby. And by the time the mother is also getting to term, it means she needs to be having enough blood, because she can easily also lose blood during that period of time that she'll be giving birth.
And now let me ask another question that really is in my mind. What about men? Do men also have issues with blood, or mostly it would be us, the ladies?
It's a very key question, because it has always been seen that women tend to lose blood. Women are very, how would I put it? They are very delicate.
Yes.
But what we realize is that as much as we are looking at the women needing blood, the men also need to be healthy. And you see that the same functions that would be, the blood would be actually the same functions of blood to women are just the same to men. So carrying the nutrients, oxygen, maintaining the temperatures, the body temperatures, all these are just the same, both to men and women. Yes. But what you realize is that slightly the HB of men is higher. This is because you remember that women always lose blood every month, besides what happens to men. Yes.
Tell me, there's something called the blood groups.
Yes.
Many people don't understand these things about blood groups.
Yes.
Can I have this type of blood and maybe later, can it change?
Thank you. We've had this as a very frequent question by our blood donors, and it keeps popping up every time we are conducting a blood drive. What you realize is that once you have been grouped, the blood group does not change. It will never change. Yeah, if it's O, it remains as O. Now, where we have a problem is that you'll realize that we also have the blood group type and the rhesus type. So the rhesus means it's either positive or negative. So what our donors are not also able to tell is whether they are O positive, B positive, or B negative, O negative. So that is the bit about the rhesus, and which also does not change. Yes.
So now, like you're in charge of blood donation, is it good to give blood? Would you tell our viewers it's good to give blood? What are the benefits of giving?
Thank you very much once again, and this is to my viewers, to our viewers, sorry. What we say is that it's very important to give blood. This is because, one, the process is very safe. It's a very safe process, so you should not doubt about it, and you should be very courageous when you're doing it, and have the confidence, because all what we use are safe for the donation process. And what we are looking at is about saving life. So we have a mother who is in the hospital, she needs your blood. We have a patient who could be anemic, he or she needs blood. And once a doctor prescribes blood, it means we do not have a substitute of this. So once it is a product of blood,
Yeah.
be it platelets, be it blood cells, it's only a donor
Who can?
and a volunteer who will assist this patient do it. Yes.
And who can donate? Who are the people who can donate blood?
When you will realize that most of the time we will visit learning institutions, that is secondary, and also the tertiary learning institutions, where we get those who are above 16 years. You should also qualify with weights 50 and above kgs. And we'll also take your HB. That means we'll look at your blood levels before you donate. And you need to be healthy. So anyone who would come up with complaints will not get blood from such a person. So you need to be healthy and meet the criteria that we have for that.
So now, before the blood is collected, is it tested?
What we only test is the screening part. That means we would like to know whether your HB is above 12.5.
Yes.
So anything less than that, we will not test. But the rest of the tests, they will be done after we get blood from you. And that means once we get your blood, we'll get samples for testing, because we also need to give our patients safe blood. Yes.
So is it safe to donate blood?
Yeah, I will want to repeat myself once again. There's a lot of confidence, and when you decide to be a volunteer donor, please walk to our stations with a lot of confidence, because what we are saying is that every process that we undertake on blood donation is safe.
Yes.
Looking at our bags, looking at the needles, looking at the experts that are doing that job.
Yes.
They are all well trained, and we are using apparatus and equipments that are safe for our patients.
Yes.
You would also find us donating. So it's an exercise that we must be certain of.
Yes.
Yes.
Now that you say, yes, it is safe to give blood, where does that blood that is donated go? Inaendanga wapi?
Yeah, so once we have gotten blood from our willing donor, we are going to store it in our fridges, and that means we will have to store it in the fridges before testing. And immediately after we test, we will again separate that and have them mixed with those that have been tested. So it means that the processes that we have there, we have the process before testing and the processes after blood testing.
Okay.
And that means once you have tested the blood, it is actually ready for the consumer, that is the patient or the one who needs blood at that particular time. Yes.
So let's say I come to donate.
Yes.
How much will I donate each time?
It's an equivalent of 450 ml.
Wow.
That means that bottle of soda,
Yes.
the 500,
Yes.
slightly lower than that.
Yes.
So it's actually very little blood, and remember, from that blood,
Yes.
you can save more than a life.
Yes.
We can have several products from that unit.
Yes.
So it means we can save around 3 patients from that unit.
From that one unit.
One unit.
Wow.
Yes.
And now when we around hospitals, we keep hearing, like now in your department where blood is donated, do you have people that come to donate, or are there people who just walk in, or you have to go looking for people to donate?
Yeah, thank you very much. And for that question, I would want to approach it this way. We have walk-in donors.
Yes.
That means, one, I would also like to say that we are situated in the hospital, that is Meru Teaching and Referral Hospital, and this is where we get our walk-in,
Yes.
or volunteers to donate who just feel that from where they are, they would walk in and give blood. That means that blood is not tagged to anyone.
Yes.
They are just well-wishers. But we also have those who come in with tagged to a patient.
Yes.
That means if you look at the rhesus negative, like I said, this is a rare blood group. So it's not always that we have enough of the rare blood groups. So it means that we'll call donors or relatives who are outside there to come and assist us. So you'll have them walk in and we will do the donation from that side. But we also have to visit like schools, churches, barazas, groups, and we get donors now, but this means we have to walk to them. We need to reach out to them. Yeah, but we also have the walk-ins, and we are always having personnel, several personnel within the hospital who are actually conducting the same.
Do you have enough blood? Is it enough there at the hospital? Yeah, even right now, let's say, if a patient was to come, mtu anaweza kosa ama there is enough?
What I would say is that blood cannot be enough. This is because one, as we collect blood, it also has expiry dates. So it means we need to consume it within the 35 days that you have given us. Yes, so what it means is that we keep replenishing our fridges. Yes, so we cannot have enough. And what you realize is that we have a lot of patients who need this blood. We have cancer patients, we have mothers, and we also are serving around 25 private facilities, both private, faith-based, and the Ministry of Health facilities. So it means that we need a lot of blood. Yes.
Do you have some that expires with you, or ikitolewa tu kuna watu wa kutumia, when it is screened and okay for use, it always gets someone to use?
It's very rare for blood to get expired. The only blood that you will get expired is a very rare blood group. That means it's an AB. And this is blood that is rare for both the patients, and this is why you'll get it expire. But it is maybe a unit, and that might take like 6 months or so for that to happen. So you'd rarely get such blood expiring. Yes.
So as we go to break, I would like you to tell us, would you advise our viewers to really come up and encourage themselves to go and donate blood?
I have done it. I have done it severally. And what we say is that we thank God that we are healthy. Remember, there is somebody there at the hospital bed who is suffering cancer, a mother who is given birth, and she's bled. She needs her life. And there is nobody else who is going to assist. It is you who is healthy, seated back listening to us, and you can make a difference. And remember, for every 10 minutes, we have 10 patients that need blood. So we really need this blood. It is just about you making a decision. You walk in. You may even, if you're not able to do it at this particular time, please encourage a friend. Please get a group of the youth, or an institution that you think can assist us. Come and talk to us. Let's plan together. We wish even to take this opportunity and thank the institutions that have really been welcoming us to have the drives with them. Like on Saturday, we had a church that was with us, and the Manu and they're called Manchester fans. They also gave us blood. We actually got around 120 units of blood. And I'm telling you, that is not enough. That is not enough. Previously, we were also in a school that gave us 96 units. So what we are saying is that maybe we have not reached out to you, but kindly, if it's possible, get in touch with us, and we will really appreciate you giving us blood.
Okay. Our viewers, an interesting topic that I am learning a lot about blood. and what blood can do for us. It is good to learn about our bodies. It's part of our health. To know what fuels us, that blood fuels us, is very interesting. I'd like you to send us your views. I'd like you to send us your questions so that we continue asking them from our experts and continue learning how we can support one another to improve our health and how we can support ourselves to enjoy the health that God has given us. Welcome back, our viewers. Let us continue learning about blood and its importance in our lives. I have this interesting question I'd like to ask our guests. What are the myths that surround blood donation?
I think this is where the battle is. And this is what has been a very big challenge to us and actually to get voluntary donors. One of the myths is that they believe we sell blood. And one thing that I would like my viewer to listen to is that we actually get blood for free. And when we look at valuing blood, I don't think there is a cost we can tag that blood for, because this is about life. I don't know, if I asked you how much you'd sell your blood, a unit of blood, what do you think you'd answer?
I cannot commute the price.
You cannot.
Yeah.
And it's the same that I would pose to my viewer, that it can be so expensive. And what we realize is that whoever gives us blood, it is actually voluntarily. So we cannot sell blood. It is actually for free. And what happens is that there is a cost that goes along with transfusing blood. So it's not about donating, it is about transfusion. And that is not done within the bleeding site. It will be done within the hospitals and within the hospital setup. This is because they will tag not to price blood, but the facilities that will be used in transfusing the patient. That means, for example, we have a giving set.
Yes.
So that giving set must be bought so that it is utilized during transfusion. So otherwise, blood will not be sold at all. Yes.
Now, from that, because blood is not sold, it means it is me to give and another person. And you, my viewer, it is for you to warm up and to be able to show up and donate blood to save a life. You save my life, you save someone else's life. Yeah? After how long can I give again? Let's say I give today. After how long should I give again?
Thank you. And I think I just mentioned one myth. Just before I answer that question, I would also like to talk about other myths that are surrounding blood donation. Our donors would always say that once they give blood, they'll get sick. Once they give blood, they'll be weak. This is not true, because just before you do the exercise, just before you carry on with the exercise, I said that there is a criteria that we have to take you through. These makes sure that we go through a self-exclusion criteria. That means there are questions and there is screening that will be done so that we are certain you're healthy before we start it off.
Yes.
The other reasoning with my voluntary donors is that they imagine that they should preserve that blood for their loved ones. So one feels that I should not donate now because there will come a time when my wife will need this blood. So without taking into consideration that there is somebody else who could be needing it at that time, or maybe your loved one will never need it, and maybe you are the one who will need it, and we need to get what is in store for us. So what I would encourage is that we actually come in massive to give this blood. You'll not be sick, you'll not get sick. Yes, we have had donors who have done it for like 40 times. We actually celebrated one who has done it the 11th time.
Wow.
Yes, so what I'm saying is that it's very, very healthy. And to answer you, when we look at the male gender, it means after every 4 months, you can give blood. For the female, after every 3 months, please come and give us blood.
After every 3 months?
Yes, give us blood.
Which means then, after we've given this blood, our bodies are able to make more.
Our bodies are able to replenish more, and that is why I said that for male, after every 3 months, give us blood. For female, after every 4 months, this is because you remember that we lose blood every month. So at least the span for men and women is a difference of 1 month.
Yes.
And what we are saying is that it is very healthy to do it because the body replenishes the cells after every 2 weeks. And for the fluid part, it will be done after every 24 hours. So you can be certain that you're safe and you have enough to give us.
So what our guest is saying then is that our bodies are able, it is something that God set in us, that once you give your blood, the body produces some more. And we should be able not to stop being afraid and to stop the stigma of thinking, if I give this my blood, I will lose. When you give your blood, you're giving some life. So our bodies are able to make more. So we should be able to encourage each other to become continuous donors, because at the hospital you'll find many people are in need of that blood. So it is good to also encourage everyone to also find time to also go and donate, so that there is enough blood to cater for the issues that keep coming up, especially in health now that we have more cancers, that we have more kidney infections. People need more blood. So let me ask you, like in Meru County, where can we donate blood?
We are at Meru Teaching and Referral Hospital. This is where we have our blood satellite.
Yes.
And we have staff who are enough to take care of the walk-in donors who come in for us.
Yes.
Yes.
And what kind of facility do you have there? It's a whole department that can receive people and receive the blood?
Yes. So what normally goes on there is that besides the donation, we also have other processes that we have within the blood satellite.
Yes.
So one of the tasks that we have there is that once we have a blood donor, we will be able to do the screening and the process to the time we get blood in our unit. So from the unit, we are supposed to separate, have blood for testing, and then the pint of the unit remains in the fridge.
Yes.
And then we will send the samples for testing.
Yes.
And here we'll have several tests. We have syphilis, hepatitis A and B, and we'll also have HIV. And that means within 24 hours we will get the results and blood will be ready for us. So we also have other components that we prepare within the lab. So we have like platelets, and we have fresh frozen plasma, and we have the red blood cells concentrate. So these are the 3 types of blood products that we prepare within that small facility you see there. We are hopeful that soon the county is also planning to expand on it. And the other day also the national government mentioned that they are willing to expand it because there is demand and there is need for the same.
How many in this region? Is it only Meru County you serve, or you serve even the counties around us?
What you realize with blood is that you can not hold on blood. You cannot imagine that this is blood from Meru and we should not share it.
Yes.
What you realize is that we work together, and this is the more reason that you find blood was not devolved. This is because Isiolo might need blood, Machakos might need blood,
Yes.
and we would not imagine that I have blood and yet somebody is almost losing life and I cannot share.
Yes.
So every county has a blood satellite, and the main function is to make sure that there is enough blood for each county.
Yeah.
But what you realize is that we have also the rare blood groups.
Yeah.
We have rare products. We always borrow each other. But what is there is that we are set to actually take care of Meru County. But in case there is need to other counties, in case we also need, we can borrow.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
These other components of blood. Unajua mi najua tu damu ni damu. But I've heard you talk about of platelets, frozen, I don't know what. Yes. You can tell us more about those products so that we understand more. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's now people know when they give their blood, it's not only one thing.
Yes.
Even these other things come from the blood and they're useful to our patients. Eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Blood has a lot of functions.
Yes.
When we look at, remember there is a time you're bleeding.
Yes.
And for it to, for it to stop bleeding, it means you need to have enough components like the platelets. So if you're lacking, it means you'll continue bleeding. And that means you'll bleed to death. So what normally happens is that the doctor will have taken the blood picture and maybe you are insufficient of that, the platelets. So we prepare platelets so that in case there is need, you're also given that. So, and especially the mothers who are giving birth, you'll find that they would bleed and bleed to death. So platelets is one component that we started recently preparing in our satellite, and we have seen our patients benefit from the same. The other one is fresh frozen plasma. You'll realize that we have different patients still and who need or require different products, like now what we are calling fresh frozen plasma. This will also be used by the expectant mothers and also some conditions like the bleeding again. Once they are treated by this, it will easily stop and boost on the same. The others are the red blood cells. So what we do is that we concentrate the red blood cells so that the fluid part of the blood is actually kept aside, and then we concentrate the blood cells. That means it will boost your HB very fast without the fluid part of it.
Wow.
Yes. So we have also found that donors who walk in still benefit from the same, because we realize when we are doing the screening, somebody would be hypertensive and he had not known that. Somebody is anemic, she or he had not known that. But what the services offered there again is the referral services.
So I would like to ask our guest to give us her last parting shot, and also to encourage us. But I would like to ask this one last question. What has been really the worst case scenario that you have ever dealt with at the satellite where people donate blood?
We have realized that when schools are closed, this is the worst time for us. We are really hit because this is the time we expect that we have walk-in donors. We also expect that churches and other institutions other than learning would call us in. And so we have had very funny scenarios. And what happens is that you'll find relatives walking in and they are demanding to know why we don't have blood. Wow. And you know, I just set that question back to my to the relative walking in, and then I'll just we talk together, and I want to learn from him or her. Have you ever donated? And he stops, and the answer is no. And I want to prompt and ask him why he has not done it. So he tells me that he thinks there are people who are supposed to donate, and it really becomes tricky for them. So what we normally do is we engage more, and at this point they are really willing to give us blood. But remember, they are giving us blood because there is need and because a loved one needs that blood. So we keep encouraging even our viewers, let it not be at that time that you need it, that your loved one needs it. Just remember that it's somebody else who needs it,
Yes.
We have realized, like, for instance, the oncology patients, they have even exhausted their circles. That means their relatives are over, they have gone to the community around them, and people are not willing to give anymore. So they are really demotivated. They are giving up. So what we can only rely on is you and somebody else to make that decision and come over and give blood. Yes.
Wow. You have heard, my viewers, that this is not personal. This is not about just the sick patient. It is about all of us. We are very interdependent. We need one another. The same way we are social beings, and God created us to live in a social life. We must learn to share. We must love to give each other life. There's a saying that says a candle loses nothing of its light by lighting another candle. Our blood is the light that another candle needs. So we must also learn to share. We must learn to work with one another, not just wait when our relatives are sick. Walk into that hospital department, go and ask where the blood transfusion center is. You'll be shown where it is. Give some blood and save a life. From one vein to another vein, we continue to build the lives of our people and continue building the health of our people here in Meru and all over the country. Therefore, my viewers, I want to tell you that as we come to the end of this show today, we have learned that it is upon us to be able to support the blood transfusion centers in our areas, and we must work together to keep a healthy nation. We ask you to continue watching Siloam TV. Goodbye.